and today we are going to be looking at how we are actually going to use West Point Bridge Designer to make a specific bridge, an exact bridge that I'm looking for. And so, as a reminder, we have previously downloaded West Point Bridge Designer, and I asked you to make any bridge that worked for you. And if you are struggling, if you're having issues making the perfect bridge, I want to point you to this bridge you see here on the screen. In this particular bridge, I just put a line down the bottom. I went up, made a bunch of boxes, vertical lines, connected them with diagonal lines, and it still didn't work. And the reason that sometimes your bridge design might not work might be your materials you're choosing. And so instead of trying to go and remake the bridge every time you put the wrong material in, what I'd actually like you to consider doing is using the arrow, and you can select the whole bridge at once. If you remember back to the beginning, the default was probably, something like this for this particular bridge. And unfortunately, what that did was it created a bridge that didn't work. Let's go ahead and load test this bridge. You can see right off the bat, it just fails. It's a miserable bridge. It just goes right into the river there. And so that's not what we want to do. And so what we can do is take that arrow. We can see the members that had problems, but I'm just going to take the whole bridge and I'm going to increase the strength. And I'm going to give it another test load test. Now, I don't think it's going to work. There's some pieces in the middle at the top that are getting too much compression strength. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board, and these three at the top right here, I'm going to go and I'm going to raise those up and see if that does enough for us here. All right, so a little bit more help needed. Back to the drawing board. I can change the members, make them a little bit thicker. These right here, I'm going to go, I want this to work this time, so I'm going to make them 360. I'm going to test this bridge. I have a feeling this is going to work. Clearly, there's a lot of strain being put on some of these members. That one right there just failed. Just like before, I can go back to the drawing board and I can say, okay, this one and this one, I can select them both at once by holding down the control button, and I can increase the strength on those two members. Let's try this one more time. The truck's going over. It's going to be close this time. These at the bottom might actually break. Yeah, we're getting closer though. Drawing board, take these four. You know what? They were at 260. I'm going to make them 300. Test it one more time. I have a feeling the bridge is going to go across now, or the truck's going to go across the bridge. Let's take a look. Okay, as soon as you get a bridge design like this one, where the truck goes across and it's successful, I don't care how much it costs really. I want you to turn it in as first bridge, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to take a snip, open up the snipping tool, go to File, New, take a snip. I really hope the snip includes the cost at the top. Once you have this, save it, File, Save, give it a name, and that you're going to attach to the assignment in Teams. Now, if you finish with this today, what you're going to be doing is working on your second bridge. And the second bridge, this is the first one, this is the one we just did. The second bridge is called 5 Bridge 00061C-ENGTWO. And if we go to that assignment, we'll see that it's crazy that it's named like that until we realize that that's the specific bridge that we're working on, the specific span. And in this particular case, I've given you the bridge designer file. It's here. It's the one that ends in .bdc. And so what's going to happen is you're going to click the three dots right here, and you're going to download this file. Do not try to get the file open directly. Don't just double click the file. Don't open it and try to get it in. Instead, what you want to do is open up West Point Bridge Designer. Do remember that West Point Bridge Designer does not save automatically, so you need to save your file. I'm going to call it Bridge 1. And once you have it saved, then I'm going to open the file I just downloaded. And the way I'm going to do that is File, Open, and it should be in my Downloads folder. Okay, so I think it's in my Downloads folder, and there it is. 5 Bridge 61 Engineering 2. And this is a different type of bridge than we've worked on before. And you'll notice there's something new that you haven't used. And you actually have a pier down at the bottom. So you can be very creative with this design in order to get a very, very, very low cost on this bridge. Use that pier to your advantage. Also, one of the differences in this particular assignment is there are an odd number of connection joints that are up there at the top, and what that does is it gives us one right in the middle. In the previous one we were working on, they were offset, so the middle had a member instead of had a connection. Okay, so that's here. Your goal is to get this bridge as inexpensive as possible. Try different things, be creative, see what works, use trial and error. If you're really pleased with your design, please send me a snip in chat. Say, hey, Mr. Vinson, this is my bridge. This is how much it costs. It's awesome. And I'll take a look at it and give you feedback or tell you how awesome it is. If you are really struggling and you can't make this bridge and it's just like, oh, I don't know what to do, send me a chat and say, hey, Mr. Vinson, this is where I'm at. It does not need to be perfect, but we can communicate and have these conversations about what makes a good bridge. So again, thank you so much for trying. I realize this is not the easiest project we've done, but I do want you to go out and do your best to try to get this where it is successful.